focus quickly, ladies and gentlemen, to the state where at least the BJP believes कि फंसेगा और फंसेगा तो खींच लेंगे. Whereas on the other hand, Bhupesh Baghel, as far as the exit pollsters and the poll of polls is concerned, seems to be comfortably retaining his position, although a massive slide for the Congress party compared to 2018, when they actually toppled Raman Singh there. So let's look at the multi-poll of polls and what the pollsters are actually saying and how they are putting the numbers in place. Jan Ki Baat very clearly giving the mandate to the Congress party. Axis My India again leaning towards the Congress party, but they are hedging their bets. If this 36-40 and 46-50 kind of number of Axis happens, that means that this is a tight fight. Ye phasega. Aur agar phas gaya, then who takes the glory? That will be a big one. Resort politics or what happens there. CNX says it's Congress. C Voter says it's Congress. Matri says it's Congress. Today's Chanakya says clearly Congress, comfortably Congress. And ETG also saying that very, very comfortably Congress. 46 to win is the state. Do you believe that Bhupesh Baghel will return this kind of purchase? Although there are massive gains for the BJP compared to 2018. So there is anti-incumbency, but not as much to topple Bhupesh Baghel. Nalin, Rahul?
Well, I think it's going to be a very tight election, to be very honest. There are a lot of swing seats here, lot of tight contests, even though the seat differentials are huge. But actually, if you really look at the numbers, you have a bit of a problem. And a minor swing can change fortunes very easily. But the question is, does the BJP have that cadre right now to actually capitalize on anti-incumbency if there is? Now remember, here also the Hindutva card was played effectively by the Prime Minister himself. First he said, Mahadev ko bhi nahi choda. When he actually married corruption with the
betting app.
So corruption in that betting app with Hindutva politics, with identity politics. So whether that is connected or not, we don't know. There is also, of course, an interesting figure that I want to point out. And this is an interesting one only because you will understand where the BJP lacks here and how much it has to really pick up. The BJP has won no seat with a big 15% plus vote share margin ever. And there are a number of seats that the BJP has not bagged at all. Even though it was in power for a large number of years since the inception of the state before Mr. Baghel. So you actually have a problem here at the ground level. You don't have an engine to match the single engine of Mr. Modi. You don't have that double fix.
The double engine despite Raman Singh. So let's look at the magic wall, 2 phases. Which are those seats where the BJP has not made inroads and which perhaps will shoulder the Congress?
I think this election in Chhattisgarh depends on the first phase. And the first phase is the Naxal affected phase. This is the Bastar, Dantewada phase. And out of the 20 seats, the Congress last time won 17. The BJP won just 2. In fact, in that Naxal belt, the southern part of Chhattisgarh, they just won 1 seat. So if this trend continues, and if you go back and check in 2018, now remember, this has always been a strong phase for the Congress. If you go back and check in 2013, when Raman Singh got his third term, the BJP did not better the Congress in these 20 seats. They got 8, the Congress got 12, but the gap was much more narrow. The BJP in this southern belt had about 5 seats out of the 20 there. The issue is for the BJP, if they start winning again in the Naxal affected seats, then yes, this is going to be a BJP victory. This is going to be a state that is much closer. But if you're going to see a similar trend in these 20 seats where the Congress runs away with it, and generally they say, in multi-phase elections, हवा जिस तरफ जा रही है एक phase के बाद उसी तरफ जाएगी. Unless something really dramatic happens, like it happened in Bihar. In 2020, where the Hawa itself
changed. So you're saying there could be a knock-on from Madhya Pradesh? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying there could be a knock-on from the first phase of elections. The first phase, which is the Naxal-affected seats, where the Congress won big last time around. And the margin is also pretty big. Even if they lose, let's say, 2 or 3 seats here, they still have 15, and the BJP's upside is just 5. The BJP has to win big in these constituencies, in southern Chhattisgarh.
In fact, Zaka, 15 to 20% vote share, the Congress won 16 seats. And between 20 and 30 vote share, they won 14 seats. So about, do the math on that, 30 seats have come with vote shares more than 15%. So the other parts of the state.
Of course, that's in 2018 where there were 3 terms of anti-incumbency and, anger against Raman Singh and so on. So some of that might get negated. But really, for me, the challenge for the BJP is this belt. If they narrow the gap with the Congress in this belt, then they will make up in the rest of the state.
But on ground,
we'll have to watch out for this.
Is there such a level of anti-incumbency that the Congress will slip from 68 to say a 40 or of 38, that they will lose 30 seats and the BJP will move up significantly to get past the halfway mark and to get 46?
As Rahul just said, the swing needed is very little in most seats. And in 2018, Congress won, I think, 25 of the 29 ST seats, the tribal seats. Congress won 25, where BJP had a fair bit of control, if not a lot more than Congress, but they had.
So let me just put that number into perspective, because viewers must have just heard you and said, but the gap in these seats is so much. Why is Rahul Shivshankar saying that there is a swing factor here? The reason is Chhattisgarh Plains region has the most swing seats. Over 4 elections, 30% of the seats were won by less than 5% margin. So we are looking at history here, not perhaps what could have been an outlier election last year. So if you really look at the broad time span, then there are a large number of these seats which have changed hands with less than 5%, and 97 seats across 4 elections by between just 5 and 10% margin. So there's a huge number of seats that actually change hands.
See, the Draupadi Murmu factor, the Santhal factor, a lot of things that have been done for the STs, security that's been given, all that, will that actually resonate, or is the state actually just thinking, what is the rate per quintal for rice that's being offered?
So I think the problem for the BJP in Chhattisgarh is, so look, there has been a larger tribal politics by the BJP, like you mentioned with the president and so on, and there has been at a national level for sure a massive shift in the tribal vote from the Congress to the BJP for the last 6-7 years. But in Chhattisgarh in particular, in local contests, I think the problem for BJP is that it does not have a pan-state leader, which they need. In Rajasthan, they have leaders. In Madhya Pradesh, they have leaders. In Chhattisgarh, after the Raman Singh ruled for 10 years, and after that, the BJP has been fairly leaderless at the state level. And that is a problem for the BJP.
And who is this tribal face of the BJP? I mean, I don't know any tribal face of the BJP.
And they were also confused through these 5 years, because I tracked their thinking. First they said, okay, let's try and get somebody from the tribal communities and prop them up. Then they said, no, we will go with the OBC face. So then they started pushing forward an OBC face. So they were also extremely confused through these 5 years.
And will the BJP gain from the Congress's internal squabbles? The last time around, a lot of the T.S. Singhdeo, Raja Saab belt actually backed him, thinking he will be chief minister. This time they said largely it was Baghel fighting the election, not T.S. Singhdeo. Although Mr. T.S. Singhdeo that day came and said, no, we've been trying to quash this and we've had no acrimony between each other. That's what he told us when he spoke with us here at News 18. So,
even Tamradhwaj Sahu, I think. The Sahu community is about 12% in Chhattisgarh. So they now know that if Congress comes back, Baghel is again going to be the CM. There is no hope for their candidate. So the Sahus, there is talk that the Sahus may vote for BJP.
Swing away.
Larger
12% is a lot of votes.
12 numbers is a percent is a lot of vote.
There's a Sarva Adivasi Samaj. That's the precise reason why they've entered this election. And that could also have a little effect on the ground. So the AAP is also a player, of course, not many seats, but this particular Samaj, this particular grouping, they have actually infiltrated this election to campaign for tribal rights. And let's see.
But whose vote will they eat into? Will they eat into Congress's vote, or will they eat into the BJP's?
That's the $1 million question.
Largely you would look at the incumbent being challenged, and if there is anti-incumbency, if there is a pro-incumbency, then but the voter turnout has been high, so you don't even know how to read that.